When you know that you are queer, but your favorite drink is beer, that's gayish. You can bottom without stopping, but you can't stand going shopping, that's gayish. Oh, gayish, you're probably gayish. Well, life's just too short for narrow stereotypes, so it's gayish. We're also gayish. It's Gayish with Mike and Kyle.
Hello, everyone in the podcast universe. This is Gayish.
The podcast that is absolutely not gaslighting you right now.
Oh, for sure not. Why would you think that? You're making that up.
That's silly of you to think so.
Yeah. Like, we never have before. Why would we start now?
Exactly.
I'm Mike Johnson.
I'm Kyle Getz.
We're here to bridge the gap between sexuality and actuality. And today... The feel good. Everything's bad and you should feel bad today. So let's do a whole downer of an episode.
Yeah. We're going to talk about homelessness.
We're going to talk about homelessness.
We never said this podcast was supposed to make you happy. That was never a promise we made.
I mean, that's true. That's absolutely true.
Yeah.
So, and you should know this by now. You should know who we are. You know what this is.
You know what you're getting yourself into.
Unless you don't, and we're springing this on you, in which case, welcome to the show, everybody.
Yeah. Come on in. It'll still be fun. We'll have fun with it somehow.
Yep. Hi, Kyle.
Hey, Mike.
I'm in California.
Yeah. How's your travels?
It's the same coast as you now.
Yeah.
The same time zone.
Yeah, we're basically together.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Okay, that's enough of that, I guess. Hey, 100 words, people. Send in 100 words. Use my hole. My hole is needing use.
Yeah, Mike's hole is so empty, it needs something to fill it. And your 100 words would be just hit the spot. Yeah. Just right.
Yep. Stretch my hole out with your words. Okay, here's the news.
Shut your mouth hole. It's time for your ear holes. News.
Okay, Kyle. News the first.
Okay.
So the rainbow crosswalk outside the abandoned LGBTQ plus nightclub in Orlando, Florida, the Pulse nightclub, was removed by city officials under a new directive from U.S. President Dick Bagface Asshole. It was created in dedication to the 49 victims of the 2016 mass shooting, which was the deadliest in U.S. history. And Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, who is a dickbag fuckface asshole emeritus, noted that the Department of Transportation was given the order by the Trump administration. Defending the actions, he said, quote, "We will not allow our state roads to be commandeered for political purposes for 9 years."
Roads are already political. Like all kind of public transit is already political. Just things are political in their existence. And if they were never political to you, that means you probably have privilege and never had to think about it.
Well, protesting its erasure, over 100 activists / protesters went to the location early on Friday to color the rainbow back in using chalk.
Yeah, so, cute.
And things were trending on Twitter /X. We will not be erased. Florida State Democratic Senator Carlos Guillermo Smith shared photos with "We will not be erased" associated with them. Quote, "The DeSantis regime may have ripped the colors off the crosswalk at the Pulse nightclub memorial, but we will not be erased. If the state gets their way, there will be a rainbow mural nearby that is bigger, queerer, and more colorful than they ever imagined."
Oh, I didn't know that was in the works or one of the things they were trying to do. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I think that this is just exactly the right thing to do. Like, if they scrub the sidewalks in your place, your city, dear listener, just go right back out there and put a new one down.
Yeah, for sure. How petty to like. This is just mean. It doesn't do anything. It's just political theater to erase it, and it's really shitty. It's just like everything they're doing.
And I've read conflicting reports about whether the data supports the supposition that we should, that they're a distraction, that they actually cause traffic issues and problems. But most sources that I have read seem to indicate that they have the opposite effect, that people see, a crosswalk and stop or slow down because there's the potential of pedestrians around.
Yeah, every crosswalk should be rainbow.
Yeah, let's start that.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that.
Kyle and I are running for president of the universe, and that's proclamation number 1.
Every crosswalk is a rainbow crosswalk. Yeah, required by law. I love it.
And there's prep dispensers in every I don't know, restaurant. Yeah,
sure. And DoxyPep as well.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly right. Anyway, yeah. Sorry that this is happening, gay people and people who like rainbows. I guess
and everyone forgets about the rainbow fans. I'm not gay. I just love rainbows.
News the second. So the Cambridge Dictionary has officially added the word Luke, Lewk.
I was wondering, I knew it. I'd heard this, so I knew this was a story, but I didn't know how you're going to pronounce look.
I don't know. Luke. I don't know. This is why I would be a bad drag queen, Kyle. I don't know anything.
I don't either.
But the queer slang term has officially been added to the Cambridge Dictionary. It defines it as, quote, a particular style, fashion, or outfit, especially one that is unusual and impressive. Sample sentences provided after the definition include other common slang. Quote, your Luke is giving Barbie.
I don't think it's pronounced Luke.
I don't know.
I really don't think it's pronounced Luke. I think it's just look.
Look.
Yeah.
But spelled that way? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't want the rumor getting out that we're as bad at spelling as we are. You know?
We're bad at spelling on purpose. It's with a point.
Yeah, but they are too dumb to know that, I think.
Mm-hmm.
The term came from social media and RuPaul's Drag Race. And, quote, internet culture is changing the English language, and the effect is fascinating to observe and capture in the dictionary. Colin McIntosh, that's his actual name, lexical program manager for the Cambridge Dictionary, told The Guardian, adding that only words with staying power are added.
Has that been around long enough that it deserves a spot in the dictionary?
See, I think they should fire this guy who's like, because other words that they added this year were delulu, tradwife, and skibbity. So,
okay, we haven't had those words for very long at all.
Yeah, staying power. I don't think it means what you think it means.
Yeah, neither do I. I also don't know what a tradwife is. Is that a traditional wife?
Yeah, that's like
a Republican.
I want to be barefoot and pregnant and not work and just take care of our 14 kids or whatever.
I want to be a trad wife.
Oh my God. You would be the best trad wife, Kyle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You just want to get bread all the time. And
but then I'd have to poop out a baby. That would be rough. Could I be a trad wife with no babies?
Just a trad wife, but just like be a surrogacy, maybe.
I don't think so. Okay. Never mind. I don't want to be a trad wife. I want to be a modern wife.
News the last, Kyle.
Okay.
James Dobson, the infamous anti-LGBTQ plus leader of Focus on the Family, is dead. Hooray! That motherfucker is dead. Fuck that guy. Fuck his corpse. Fuck anybody who thought that he was a good person. He's super dead, and I could not be more pleased. There's a handful of people who I literally was happy about being dead. James Dobson is one of them. Another one is Antonin Scalia. Like, you never know who these people are going to be, but when they die and you find out, you're happy. And by you, I mean Mike Johnson. He was 89 years old, and I would like to add him to the list of nominees, Derek, for Dickbag Fuckface Asshole Lifetime Achievement Award.
Oh.
We're going to give away 2 awards this year, Kyle. It's going to be Dickbag Fuckface Asshole of the Year and the Dickbag Fuckface Asshole Lifetime Achievement Award.
Okay. Are both of them voting, or do we get to decide on the Lifetime Achievement Award?
No, you and I decide on that one.
Okay. I like that. That's fun for me.
Okay, great. Yeah, Focus on the Family, because it's always about the fucking family, was a radio show that he started in 1977. And he helped create the Family Research Council. He basically every terrible thing ever done for like gay people in American politics is his fault. So, good riddance to bad rubbish. Fuck that guy. I hope he's burning in hell. That's the news.
That's wow. That's the news. Speaking of, no, none of that.
Hope are burning in hell.
Yeah, totally. I want to thank our new Patreon members. Thank you to Bradford Douglas. What a regal name.
Bradford. That's old money there that we're getting some of.
Yeah, thanks. Dip us into that pot of gold. And
of the Cape Cod Douglases, I'm sure.
And thank you to Moose Parker.
Moose P.
Moose.
Is that Moose P from Big Fatty fame? Maybe.
Oh, I don't know. You'll have to let us know.
Let us know.
Let us know. If you want ad-free episodes a day early, if you want to use Mike's hole.
Use my hole.
If you want to support the show, go to patreon.com/Gayish podcast.
Do it.
Do you want to talk about homelessness?
No.
No. Okay. Episode over.
I mean, it's not a feel good topic, Kyle, which is fine. It's still important and we need to talk about it. But like, you know, it's a downer. It's kind of a downer.
Yeah, it's for sure a downer, especially for queer people. Because spoiler alert, queer people are particularly more likely to be homeless. But to start us off, I'm just going to tell you about the 4 different types of homelessness, which I did not know there were different types.
I mean, it seems like just not having a home is is just all it takes. But okay, let's break that down. There's subtypes.
Let's break it down into the subtypes. Yep, exactly. There's chronic homelessness, which is defined as someone who's been continuously homeless for over a year or has had at least 4 episodes of homelessness in the previous 3 years.
Okay. I thought at first I thought it was going to be like because of the chronic. That's they're homeless because of the chronic. Never
What's
mind.
the chronic?
Drugs, Kyle. It's drugs.
Oh, I know about drugs. I'm so in on the know. What is chronic? Is that a type of drug?
What?
Is that a type of drug?
I thought it was just weed. Am I incorrect?
Oh, I have no idea. We're the wrong people to be talking about drug stuff.
Very potent, high-grade marijuana.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is that what Snoop Dogg's been rapping about all these years?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
The second type is episodic homelessness, which is a person who has experienced at least 3 periods of homelessness in the previous year. So it's interesting that chronic is 4 episodes in the previous 3 years, and episodic is 3 periods in the previous year. I don't know. These definitions seem a little bit arbitrary and seem like they may overlap some, but I didn't decide these things, so I don't have a say.
Is the distinction that they're making just that, like, a person who has an ongoing problem, or versus like it's happened a couple of times but they're not connected, and I don't know.
Yeah, I think you're right. There's traditional homelessness, or trad homelessness. No, sorry, transitional, not traditional. Transitional homelessness. This is the one that's most common. It's a person who has become homeless due to a major life change or a catastrophic event. They don't have a safety net or family support or a financial cushion to fall back on. Mm-hmm. So this will be like there was a tornado and now they're homeless. Yep. And there's hidden homelessness. This often, as it makes sense, often goes unreported and undocumented. These are people that couch surf, who stay in hotels, who live in their cars. They might not be counted into the homelessness numbers. So often when you see homeless numbers, you have to remember that they're probably underreported because of this hidden homelessness.
Yep. Well, and hidden homelessness is like the Republican agenda, I think.
You think they want hidden homelessness?
Yeah, they don't care what happens as long as it's hidden.
Yeah. I think that's a little bit different. Like the like, as long as I can't see it, it's fine. Like, move you to another city kind of thing. That's so fucked up. It's like, I don't care if the problem is resolved or not. I just don't want to have to see it with my own eyeballs.
Yep. Yep, exactly
Yeah.
right.
It's real shitty.
And I mean, that's the selfishness of a lot of right-wing policies is really just boils down to, does this impact me? And if so, then I'll care and or do something about it. Right. So,
Yeah.
they don't care about the crisis of homelessness until like they have to walk by somebody on the sidewalk on their way into Whole Foods or whatever the fuck.
Yeah. Yeah. And if they move it out of their eyeballs, if they can't see it, then they don't worry about it. And that's the problem of like a lack of empathy for all kinds of, there's lots of issues that we can't see day to day that we need to care about. And
that's the same with gay shit. They're just mad because they can see us. Like visibility is the problem, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. It's diminished over representation. Once they had all the representation, and now once gay people are starting to earn our fair share of representation in media, they get mad about it because they think that means that they're underrepresented, which they're not. They just didn't realize how overrepresented they were before.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
Woke media.
the lame street media.
So the last category of transitional
homelessness.
Transitional homelessness. Did they break down, like you mentioned, a tornado, right? Like that's the first thing that comes to mind is like they don't have a backup plan or the wherewithal to travel somewhere else. Like there's some sort of disaster, but it also covered like getting fired. Is that?
Oh, yeah, it just said a major life change. So yeah, I bet getting fired has to be included in one of those. Getting cancer.
I think that's the one that most people assume is happening, and they're wrong about that. But like they assume that like if you're on the street for a long time, that's your fault. Like eventually your insurance money is supposed to come in, or you find a different job, or you like move in with your parents, or like whatever it is. They assume that like whoever you see ended up there because of one of these big life events. And if you're still there, it's just laziness or will that is keeping you there. And that's not true.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Oh, Kyle.
We're already off to a sad start. This is how this episode is going to go, though.
Off to a sad start. I'm going to talk about the history of homelessness in sort of. I have one particular story that I'm super excited to talk about, but there's a whole, I'm going to do language. I'm going to talk about language in the Patreon segment. Like there's a whole bunch of stuff that I want to talk about. And the euphemism treadmill is what they call it. So I'm not going to go into all of that, but modern homelessness, as we think of it, really happened because of the industrial revolution and urbanization that happened because of that. So, when everybody just like lived on farms or whatever, it really wasn't that same kind of problem that it took cities and building up of industry in order to create the economic conditions necessary to create a homeless population large enough to be an issue that was being dealt with by city administrators, cultural references, that kind of thing. So it's the 1870s-ish when we start seeing mass displacement in terms like tramp or hobo or bum start entering like common parlance. And that is not coincidentally about the time when we start seeing molly houses showing up. So molly houses, we've talked about them on the show before, are like gay bars in London. But they really, in if you put the right lens on, they're really homeless shelters. So Margaret Clapp, she owned and ran a molly house and had like 40 to 50 men, gay men, staying under her roof every night. And a lot of them slept there because they'd been either kicked out of other places or fired from live-in servant positions. This was back in 1726. Police raided her place, and 3 men were executed, not just for sodomy, but for keeping disorderly houses, which is the same charge used against those harboring homeless people.
Wow. Wait, what was it? Something home disorderly houses?
Yeah, keeping a disorderly house.
That was a executable offense?
No, it wasn't executable, but it was a crime. That was a charge. And so if you took in somebody off of the street and didn't if they became a problem, you could be charged with keeping a disorderly house.
Wow.
And basically, all of this is leading to William Dorsey Swann. I want to talk about William Dorsey Swann. I'm super excited about this. I had never heard of this person's name before, but William Dorsey Swann, who is a formerly enslaved man, started hosting in the late 1880s private balls that he called drags. And he is the first drag queen. The first reference to drag queen as a term is attributed to this person. So there's some questions about is he trans, or would he be trans in a modern day? But anyway, so the term drag came from him. It possibly derived from grand rag, drag at the end there, which was the term for a masquerade ball back in the day. But he had a bunch of these in secret in Washington, D.C., some of them as close as 6 blocks from the White House.
Oh shit! That makes it just kind of rubs it in their face, or kind of the opposite, I guess. But that's real cool.
Yep. The Washington Critic newspaper reported in January of 1887, police officers raided one of these drag balls, and they found 6 black men dressed in elegant female attire, including corsets, bustles, long hose, and slippers. And the Evening Star reported the following April on a similar raid that targeted men in, quote, female attire of many colors, gaudy costumes of silk and satin.
Gaudy, that's judgmental.
That's judgmental. Yeah. There was some uppity queen was writing the newspaper. Okay, so Swann was the first reported drag queen in the United States using the term drag queen, and he did this in Washington, D.C. And it is basically the 19th century version of pose. What he started and what he is given credit for is sort of the seeds of ball culture, and a lot of those communities, especially people of color in New York, like the show Pose, is about finding homes. A lot of those drag houses were homeless kids that needed a place to be, and so when they joined a house, they literally got a house, they literally got a place to live, and got to be part of this art form of ball culture.
Imagine being one of those kids, but you can't dance. That would suck. You're like, well, I don't have a home and I want a place to stay, but I also can't dance. So what can I do? What can I be the assistant? Can I be the best boy? What can I do to help?
Get
lighting.
Good at sewing,
what do you
girl.
need? Yeah, that's true.
Maybe make yourself useful. Cook. Yeah. I don't know. That's what they do on Big Brother. You got to cook so you don't get kicked out. Yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to point out that homelessness has a huge association historically with queer people, in particular drag queens and ball culture, and that this William Dorsey Swann dude throwing parties where people got dressed up as women 6 blocks from the White House is sort of like the OG where it all started in a way. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
Well, speaking of queer homeless people, I would like to talk about some of the data.
Yeah, let's do it.
This is data from Trevor Project's National Survey on LGBTQ Youth mental health in 2021. The analytic sample is over 34,000 LGBTQ youth between the ages of 13 and 24 who live in the U.S. And the results are 28% of the LGBTQ youth reported experiencing homelessness or housing instability at some point in their lives. So over a quarter of LGBTQ youth.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's wild.
That's so many people, right?
Like 1 in 4, right? Because that's how math works.
That's how math works. Yep.
That's crazy. It's so crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. I just wanted a comparison. So I looked at a different survey. This was called the Voices of Youth Count survey, conducted in 2016 and 2017. And overall, not LGBTQ specific, overall, approximately 10% of youth ages 18 to 25 reported experiencing homelessness, and 3.3% of youth ages 13 to 17 reported experiencing homelessness. So like by comparison, we're in the 3 to 10% range for overall, and then it's 28% for LGBTQ people. So
wow,
it's much higher.
Yeah.
If you look at the rates by race, the highest group of people that have experienced homelessness are Native and Indigenous LGBTQ youth at 44%, which that's an astonishingly high number. 36%.
Well, you're gonna talk about causes like later, right?
Yeah.
But I can't help but wonder like why that is. Like if it's a function of poverty, those communities tend to be impoverished. If it's cultural, if there's like less acceptance, especially after the influence of white Judeo-Christian morality on indigenous people. Anyway, it's that's
I don't know. I won't
like almost half, right? Like that's insane.
Yeah, I won't go into the specifics on that, on why that. So your guesses, I think, are really good ones. 36% of multiracial LGBTQ youth reported experiencing homelessness. 27% of white, and 27% of Latinx, and 16% of Asian American or Pacific Islander youth. By gender, trans boys and men and trans women have about the same likelihood. Trans boys or men have 39% experience homelessness, 38% of trans girls or women, 35% of non-binary youth, and 23% of cisgender youth. It says LGBTQ youth because it's not the T, because those were ones it's hard to say the words LGBTQ youth. That's a weird doesn't roll off the thing. There's one missing. Yep. And LGBTQ youth who experience homelessness or housing instability reported higher rates of mental health challenges, which makes sense, especially compared to stably housed LGBTQ peers. 2 to 4 times the odds of reporting depression, anxiety, self-harm, considering suicide, attempting suicide, as compared to those without housing instability. They also included some recommendations in this report, which I wanted to talk about, things that we could be doing better to help with LGBTQ youth.
Number 1, don't be gay.
Don't if you have a choice, don't choose to be gay. Number 2, if you are gay, don't have shitty family.
Right.
Have and enforce strong anti-discrimination policies in the workplace, and anti-bullying and anti-harassment policies in schools was the first recommendation that they provided. They also talked about developing family counseling or mediation programs, because a lot of homelessness occurs when you don't have the family support to help you. And I put a little bit more detail on this one because I thought it was interesting. Research from the Family Acceptance Project shows that many parents reject their child's LGBTQ identity because they fear the homophobia and transphobia their child may experience from society. So the rejection, it's funny, not funny, haha, but funny that they would reject their child because they worry people are going to be homophobic, and by doing so become the homophobia they fear that they're going to experience. It's I don't know if that's a paradox or there's some kind of logical issue there. I don't know what that's called, but it's something. It's called something, and it sucks.
Yeah, it's fucked up. I think that's what
Fucked
it's called.
up?
It's officially called fucked up.
That's the official term for it. Yep. Let's see. Another recommendation, preventing housing instability among LGBTQ youth in foster care through case management and exit planning for youth exiting care, because that's a big time when someone may become homeless, is when they exit the foster care program. More funding should be allocated to safe, low barrier housing programs. And low barrier, it talked about, I didn't write this down, but it talked about like not having a lot of preconditions put upon what is needed to access the housing. Just kind of a housing first kind of model. Make sure that shelter and housing facilities have culturally competent services for LGBTQ youth. I would presume that like training would be helpful just to like get everyone up to speed on how to best handle LGBTQ people, language, common issues that they experience, just all that good stuff.
Yeah.
They said that better data is needed to understand the full scope of LGBTQ youth homelessness. So they wanted to add questions about LGBTQ identity and housing status to population surveys of youth and young adults. For example, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention does a youth risk behavior survey that they could, like, at this point, if your survey isn't including LGBTQ people, like including a question about that, that's just like so behind the times.
Yeah.
And so outdated.
Well, where I thought maybe you were going to go though is the difficulty in finding people to ask them the questions. Like what's hidden homelessness or whatever it was that you talked about. We know that homelessness is underreported and underrepresented. And so, but then like once you do find them and you start asking them questions for data, then like you need to ask different questions or better questions to understand like causes and trends and
yeah, and understand if they're LGBT, and then you can slice up the data by comparing LGBT to non-LGBT. And just in general, any economic policy that helps reduce the overall rates of homelessness will help LGBTQ homelessness. So by resolving, I think they said the opposite in the opposite way, but I think if you target LGBTQ homelessness, you're also going to help the overall homelessness rate. So thinking about, and we'll talk a little bit more about policies and things that would help overall homelessness.
Yeah. Like systemically, I imagine that there's a lot of overlap that like the queer homeless, especially queer homeless youth, probably like have some special needs when it comes to their situation, but largely if we just work on preventing homelessness at all, it's going to help them out too. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And like, regardless of the reason someone's homeless, policies that help improve the homelessness crisis then will impact them. Like providing housing for people helps regardless of the reason you're homeless. Yeah. Huh. Well, that's depressing data, Kyle. Thank you.
I know, right? I mean, it just kind of says what we knew was going to be the case, which is you're more likely to be homeless if you're gay.
Yeah. Wild. Okay. Well, do you want to talk about gentrification real quick?
Sure. Let's do a light jump into gentrification.
Sure. I found a quote in Alta magazine, which is the Castro. It's the Castro in San Francisco. It's a magazine about that area, that neighborhood. We said, quote, LGBTQ plus folks are both victims of displacement and agents of it. So the joke, and I think I've said it before on the show, has a kernel of truth in it, which is like gentrification, first come the gays, and the gays come and, they zhuzh up an area and they make it queer. And so there's some research around that first come the gays, gentrification is really actually a thing.
Isn't it the lesbians that come first? Really?
It depends. Did I see anything about that?
I thought I saw something about like the lesbians were the ones that move in first, and then the gays, and then people follow.
That might be true. The one study that I looked at was just same-sex households, and it didn't break it down by gender. So you might be right. I can neither confirm nor deny that, Kyle.
Okay.
But I think I've heard that before too. I
feel like I remember that from some episode we did, but I don't remember which one.
Great, gayish. I mean, 453 episodes in, we're it's just remember. Recycled at this point. All of this is AI, actually. So basically, the gayer a block is, the faster its values will rise for rent and owning. So same-sex households average $15,000 less income than straight families with children, which makes them more vulnerable to displacement. But the kinds of cultural things, the entertainment value, the sort of bohemification of neighborhoods once it becomes a queer neighborhood drives this effect. So basically, gay people end up pricing themselves out by being too good at making neighborhoods fun.
That's sad. That's a really depressing, maybe one of the more depressing facts that we're going to learn about in this episode.
Yeah, one of the specific examples is your neighborhood, Kyle. They talk about Capitol Hill.
Oh, no way.
From 2000 to 2012, Capitol Hill lost 23% of its same-sex couple households. But they increased 52% citywide. So the gayborhood became like measurably less the gayborhood because we spread out to other parts of the city during that time. Now, granted, this is 2000 to 2012, but as near as I can tell, that trend did not stop. That's continued.
Well, I moved in during that time and I kept it gay. So
yeah,
did they mention me at all?
No, not specifically. No.
Oh man.
They did call it.
They would. Did you say they were talking about same-sex households?
Same-sex couple households went down in the Capitol Hill neighborhood as they went up in everywhere else in the city.
Yeah. So this is something that's frustrating. As
a percentage.
Right. This is something that's frustrating when people do stats on gay people is oftentimes if you don't know whether people are gay or not, the best you can do is if they are a couple and a same-sex couple. So that doesn't say anything about, like, there could have been a lot of single gay men like me that moved in or single lesbians or single trans people or what have you. And we don't know about that. So maybe it was couples overall that left the neighborhood, not just gay couples.
All the single ladies moved in.
All the single ladies. What?
They talk about the tech bro influence on all of that, both in Seattle's Capitol Hill neighborhood and in the Castro in San Francisco, that basically tech money ruins everything, that all of those high paying jobs make rent go up and property values go up, and that prices people out. And that's a big driver of the homelessness crisis in both of those cities.
Yeah, there's some definitely signs around that say like "Go home, tech bro" and "Bully a tech bro."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, according to a study done in San Francisco, looking at San Francisco, Portland, and Seattle, that NIMBYism is a huge problem in these otherwise supposedly progressive cities. NIMBY stands for not in my backyard, if you're not familiar with that term. But they looked at, like, Portland tried to make an LGBTQ plus village out of tiny houses for their homeless queer community. And school and community groups apparently immediately threw a fit. One parent said that my 7-year-old is going to be within earshot, sight, and gunshot range of homeless youth, and they're queer. Like, yeah,
God.
that's the point.
There was, this is not exactly the same thing, but it's on the same page. There's a bus stop that's right outside my condo, and we have just the little sign, and they're trying to put in a bench and a covering because apparently the amount of people that get picked up warrant a bench and a covering area for this bus stop. And people in my building emailed and protested and successfully got them to not put in a bench and a covering because they were worried that homeless people would sleep on the bench.
That's wild.
And that's like very much, no, that is like right in line with the NIMBY. Like, I don't want to see a homeless, you're in Seattle, you can walk around and see homeless people everywhere. Like, this is not, it should not be a surprise that they exist, but they just don't want them right outside on their street.
Yeah. What will the I don't know, they just, it's icky and I don't like that. So like, I don't know. People are weird. This same study said that the Castro has basically became a place where queer people pilgrimage but can't afford to live. And there was a bunch of housing turnover in the Castro because of the HIV/AIDS crisis. But since then, it's just gotten worse for gay people trying to live there. That 2-bedroom rent averages $5,000 a month. Median home prices are well over $1 million. 77% of longtime residents identified as LGBTQ plus, but only 55% of new residents. But that measurably, gentrification is making gay neighborhoods straighter. And a lot of the people that are getting priced out become homeless, and a lot of them are queer people that can't afford to live in their own gay ghetto anymore. Now, there's a lot of legal protections for housing discrimination for queer people. Nothing federally, but like lots of states and lots of cities have their own, like, you can't discriminate against gay people in housing situations. But none of that addresses if you just can't afford to live there anymore. Like, we have no protections. There are some places like New York that have rent control. But a lot of places just don't have a mechanism for preventing a landlord from jacking up your rent when a place gets popular and pricing you out. Anyway, I just wanted to talk about gentrification and how, like, this quote that I started with is what really sailed out to me, that gay people are the victim and the cause of gentrification.
What do we do? But like, it's not that we shouldn't move to places and make them nice. Like, that shouldn't be the takeaway. Like, what do we do about this?
Well, I think that we maybe when you talk about the causes of homelessness, we can, like, we're going to solve it, Kyle. You and I, we're the ones
here on this podcast for sure.
On this podcast, but I think that we have to advocate for mechanisms like rent control that don't automatically just price people out based on market forces when it's something fundamental to your life, like shelter. Like, that's a little low on Maslow's hierarchy for me for it to be a profit motive, you know? Like, air, water, food, shelter, these things should probably be considered human rights and not something to make a buck off of. But I don't know. So
should housing be like, are you advocating for housing to be like socially owned, like not privatized?
I don't know about that. I don't know if I'd go that far, but there's a difference between socialization, privatization. There's a difference between socialization and you meant public becoming public, right? Not private.
Well, like not privatized. Yeah.
Not privatized. Yeah. Public sector housing can help. But I think just saying, like, no, Mr. Landlord, you can't jack up your rent 30%. is a great start.
Doesn't Seattle have laws like that? I should know. I'm in property management. I don't.
Yeah, I think Seattle does. But people would argue that it's not good enough, that it's still, you can raise rent by a lot at lease signing time. But I don't know. Yeah. What are the causes, Kyle?
Well, I think one thing people assume is that the cause is gay people getting kicked out of their house when they come out. And I wanted to talk a little bit more about the gay to there before I talk about other causes. 8.8% of LGBTQ youth who experience homelessness reported leaving their home due to mistreatment or fear of mistreatment due to their LGBTQ identity. So that's, it's only 8.8% of people had some kind of mistreatment. 14% of LGBTQ youth who experience homelessness reported being kicked out.
Okay. What was
that's
the number again?
14%.
14%. That seems lower than we might in our heart expect.
Yep. It is not like the expectation is this is the majority of how LGBTQ people become homeless is they get kicked out, but that's not the case. 5.6% of LGBTQ youth who experience homelessness reported being kicked out due to their LGBTQ identity. So it's an even smaller number that were kicked out because they were gay. So what the thing that I read said is that most LGBTQ youth become homeless due to familial instability and frying relationships over time. So it's not like I came out, I got kicked out, end of conversation kind of thing. It's that over time their relationships are negatively impacted by them being gay, and then they don't have family support to rely on. And then eventually become homeless.
Yeah, that's even sadder, because then it wasn't like, an explosive event that sure that would suck, but like a slow erosion over time that just sounds bad, not fun.
Yeah. There was a point in my life where I thought that's what was going to happen with me and my family. Like when my parents initially couldn't accept my gayness, they just said that eventually we will no longer talk to each other over time. And that was just the best place we could land on. And eventually they got over that. So that didn't end up happening. So I'm really lucky about that, but I could see how that would, for people that don't end up coming around, I could see how that just is how things go.
But wasn't that also after you had left home?
I was in college. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah. This is something that I want to talk about sometime. This is probably not the episode to do it, but like the generational thing, there's a generational thing here that I want to explore, which is like, when I left home and went to college, I was like, I left home. Like at some point, people younger than me started thinking about that as like still being around or something. Their parents, I don't know.
I would like come home for like summers. No, that's not true. I didn't come home most summers. But I would like come home on the weekends and stuff. I still like was, hanging out and seeing my family.
Yeah, let's do a whole show about generations. What do you think? Okay,
let's put it on the calendar.
It's on the calendar.
Done.
This is our production meeting, everybody.
Okay, great. Okay, so what is causing homelessness? So I read a January 2025 article by Sherry Delguidis.
Named it.
I don't know. In the Nubian Message, which is North Carolina State University's African-American newspaper. The headline of the article is U.S. homelessness hits record high, increases over 18% in the past year.
That's crazy. Okay.
Yeah, isn't it? So this is overall homelessness, not LGBT specific.
Yeah, a flushing toilet sinks all turds or whatever. Like,
sure, totally.
Well, I was gonna say, rising tide floats all ships. I'm like, no, that's for good things. There's gotta be like,
yeah, no, that's, you nailed the opposite for sure. So migration is a top cause. The U.S. population increased by 3.3 million from 23 to 24, with 2.8 million coming from international migration. People who migrate into the U.S. face restrictions when looking for work. When they do find work, it tends to be lower paying, and they often are either unaware of resources or face language barriers in accessing resources. Another cause is natural disasters. This is that, what did I call it? Transitional homelessness.
Yeah.
Yep. That deadly weather events cause, which are now more likely due to severe climate change, have increased, so they are more likely to cause displace people. For example, the Maui wildfires in Hawaii, homelessness grew in Hawaii by 87% from 23 to 24, which that's a wildly high number.
Yeah.
Another
Why
cause
is
is
happening
because of climate change.
Why can't we just get it together, Kyle?
Why can't we get our shit together? You would think by now we would have all been like, oh shit, this is really fucking our shit up. We all need to come together as a human race and figure this shit out.
Yeah.
But
well, meanwhile, the Republicans are back to the is slavery bad?
are they really? Is that really a topic of conversation?
Yeah.
And also coloring in our crosswalks.
Yep.
The really useful, hard-hitting things that are going to help everyone. There's the lack of affordable housing that is causing homelessness. And along with that, rent prices increasing. As the cost of living increases, wages have remained largely stagnant.
Yep. The minimum wage hasn't gone up federally in this country for like 30 years or some shit. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's insane. Because you'd have to get everyone to agree on it, and who's going to agree with Bernie Sanders? Right. Other causes that I thought we should mention that were not mentioned in this article are mental health issues and addiction. That is a cause of homelessness.
It's so funny that people on the right will say mental health issues like that means it's their fault. You know what I mean? Like, some of it is absolutely true. There absolutely is a set of the homeless population that has mental health issues, but that should be viewed as a medical crisis that we should be supporting people through and putting public resources towards. Not they matter even less because they're crazy, which is the messaging that I hear from assholes.
They did schizophrenia to themselves. Why couldn't they just have not been schizophrenic? It's like that lack of empathy, like to not understand something that you have not been through, is like really jumping out.
Yeah.
And domestic violence, family conflict, lack of support networks, specifically for women and children. Those are some of the causes of increased homelessness.
Well, I don't think we can actually solve any of those. I lied.
I think
you and I aren't going to solve any of those.
Oh, sorry. If that's what you expected from this episode, then I'm sorry to let you down yet again. Yeah. I think public funding going towards, you mentioned that for the like mental health issues, which I totally agree with, but like public funding going towards supporting this is key and something that we don't have. And we spend a ton of money giving tax breaks to the richest people in the world, and then who could, if they wanted to, eliminate homelessness with one check. Like,
Yep. You sound like Bernie Sanders, Kyle.
I do sound like Bernie Sanders. I was voting for Elizabeth Warren back when he was up, but I
was
still
a Warren girl too.
Oh, that didn't work out.
You didn't. No.
What else do you got?
They started calling her Pocahontas, and that like totally tubed her career, which is like, I don't understand why one side can say grab him by the pussy and that's fine, but the other side makes one foolish remark about their ancestry.com results, and like they're drummed out of the. It's a little bit what I'm going to talk about in the Patreon segment is the like the forces of evil will always triumph because good is dumb, which is that's a line from Spaceballs.
Oh God. Okay.
But okay, so I do want to talk to you about laws used against homeless people. Okay. And in this country and every country, it's hard to make like universal statements about the way that these things work. But there are lots of places where just being homeless is illegal. And
which is like so fucked up because it's like, oh shit, I should have thought about not being homeless. Like, what do you?
Yeah.
To make that illegal is like,
you're right, officer. I'll get right on that.
Yeah, let me. Oh shit, sorry. Let me go find a home right now. Should have done that earlier. Like Jesus Christ.
Yeah, exactly. Now, but it's also, and this is the problem. This is the problem that I want to talk about because a lot of it is stuff that sort of on the surface sounds like things that we should be discouraging, right? Like loitering. There are a lot of laws that are labeled loitering, and it's because shop owners don't want, kids hanging out right outside of their store door so that their customers are afraid to come in and spend money or whatever. Like, vagrancy laws are the like umbrella term for all of these statutes. And there's some like there's one place in New England, I think it was Baltimore, but their criminal code says that it's illegal to be, quote, poor, idle, dissolute, immoral, drunk, lewd, or suspicious. And all
it's
of that
illegal
is just,
to be poor.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Looking poor.
Oh, I look poor a lot.
But it's really anybody who looks out of place, right? It's a conservative's wet dream. It's like, I don't like that. They're different than me, so get rid of them. And so back in the day, vagrancy laws required people to show legitimate income. So, but holding down a job while you don't have an address is virtually impossible in a lot of places, right? So where I'm going with all of this, though, Kyle, is like the laws that were used to target homeless folks were also historically used to target gay people. It turns out in the history of criminalization of LGBT identities, most people weren't arrested under sodomy laws. A lot were, and those trials happened, but they got busted under these vagrancy laws. It was vagrancy or loitering or suspicious person laws that also targeted homeless people, but that were used or twisted by cops to be able to arrest and harass gay people.
Yeah, when you come up with something vague like suspicious person, I can say just about anything that they were doing that says that they became suspicious to me and I can arrest them. Like, that's just so vague. You can define that as however you want.
Yep, absolutely. And cross-dressing laws that were used to target both drag queens and trans folks. That you might have heard the 3 pieces of gender-appropriate clothing rule that gets brought up. Now, that might have been apocryphal. It's hard to find any examples where they actually said 3 pieces of clothing, but that did become a way that police sort of rule of thumbed whether a person was cross-dressing or not. There were cross-dressing laws, but they were less specific than like you have to have 3 pieces of clothing that match your gender identity. But that was being used to fuel bar raids that led to Stonewall, that led to, the modern gay rights movements. But I already talked about ballroom culture being like a place for homeless folks to live. But sodomy laws actually have been overturned faster than vagrancy laws. So, like Illinois, they decriminalized sodomy in 1961, but they had strict vagrancy laws until 1972. Anyway, I guess I'm done with my point. I just wanted to point out that there's lots of laws about like looking suspicious in public that both are used to sweep away homeless folks and gay people. And it's getting better. There are some signs that it's getting better. There are a couple of Supreme Court case rulings that in the 1970s made things better, but it's still, these laws are still being used to sweep homeless folks off the streets and get rid of them so that Karen doesn't have to look at them.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so sad. Like, I almost wish that all issues, like you had to look at all of these issues in the face every day to remind us that we need to like take action, and it's easy to ignore them, especially if you don't see them. And that doesn't mean it's not happening. That just means you don't see it. And that can give you a sense of peace that maybe you don't deserve.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I always like reading quotes from actual people who have experienced the thing that we're talking about, since you and I, we're talking about a group of people that have you ever been homeless?
No.
Okay.
I said that with a question mark because I did, I worked for the fraternity for a year after I graduated from college. And there was a time when I was super poor. I was bad at money, and the fraternity would only give me one hotel stay a week because I was expected to stay at the fraternity houses. And I had already used my night for the week, and I was still like however many hours from wherever I was headed. And I was too embarrassed to ask if I could please have another hotel stay. And I slept in my car, like on the side of the road. That's the closest that I've ever gotten. Like I was fine. Everything was okay. Picked right back up the next week or whatever. But like that enough was a harrowing enough of an experience that like, I can't imagine what the lives of these people are actually like.
Yeah. So let's hear.
No. I'm guessing not. Yeah.
Nope. Never.
Okay.
Never come close. So
let's hear some quotes.
So this is from a 2018 Huffington Post article called 6 Homeless LGBTQ Youth Share Their Stories by James Michael Nichols. And I'll just read a few of the ones that jumped out to me. First is Alexander, who's 24, who's a man with trans experience, said, quote, "My mom was not accepting of me, but me liking...
Is this a trans man? Like, I don't understand.
I don't know because other people that they talk about say trans male or non-binary, but I don't know what the difference is.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Quote, "My mom was not accepting of me, but me liking someone of the same sex or gender was not the biggest issue. The problem was more me representing very masculine. She said to me once, 'If you are going to like girls, then why don't you look like one?' She couldn't understand. She was abusive, both verbally and physically. After a while, it got to a point where it was too much. I couldn't be myself, so I left. My time as a homeless was hard. I didn't know if I was going to make it. Many times I thought my mental health was not going to allow me to get out of this situation. What kept me going is the knowledge that I had goals. I really wanted to get out of the shelter system. For a lot of people, what is missing is the hope, and hope is necessary to get out of these situations."
You got to have hope. Got to give them hope.
Got to give them hope.
Is that milk?
Harvey Milk? Or at least it was in the Milk movie. I would think it'd be so hard to hold on to hope during this time. Like that's really impressive that Alexander was able to like hold on to hope and use that as the fuel to like escape homelessness. But that just seems so difficult.
Yeah. Well, and it's got to be demoralizing too. And I like to go through that situation And that's like the opposite of hope, is being demoralized,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
and so to not let what's happening sort of crush your spirit is like it must take a really strong person to do that.
Yeah, for sure. Next is Cyrus, who is 18 and a trans male. And he said, quote, "Before I came out as trans, I was identifying as a lesbian. And when my parents found out, it didn't go well for me. They deleted all my social media accounts and they wouldn't let me leave the house alone. I was not allowed to see my friends anymore. So after a while, I got so angry and got into a huge argument with my mom. We got a little bit physical and my dad decided to send me to a psychiatric hospital. In total, I went to 5 of them. Because I wanted to further my transition, get surgery, and start hormones, I knew I couldn't stay at home. My dad doesn't want me confusing my younger siblings or our family members, so I had to go." Which I wonder how many trans people have to choose between like presenting the way they want to present and going further down the road, like Cyrus was talking about, like getting surgery or, versus like staying at home.
Well, and the I don't know why I'm honing in on this, but like the I don't want you confusing your siblings is just such utter horseshit. Like,
yeah,
like they're going to be fine. It's you who are confused, and that's just projection. Anyway.
Yeah. Yes. It always is like, oh no, the kids don't understand. And then when you talk to kids about being gay and you're like, sometimes 2 boys love each other, then kids are like, oh, okay. Like they're fine with it. Like some girls grow up to be boys.
Yep.
They're fine with it. They don't, they're like so young that like you can tell them anything and they're dumb little kids. They're just like, okay.
Yeah. Yep.
They don't know to be prejudiced yet.
Yep. Absolutely.
Take away your social media. What do you do all day?
Well, and how did they delete all of that? Like, should we be doing like a queer, like, internet security class? Like, your parents shouldn't be able to delete your shit.
Well, your parents should be able to like track what you do online. I think that's probably a safety thing.
But not delete your shit.
That's why people have Finstas.
I don't know what that is.
You have a fake Instagram.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Then they don't know what's really going on. The last one is Frankie, who is 19 and non-binary trans. And Frankie said, "My parents tried to ignore what they called my lifestyle and pretended that it would go away. Growing up, I started to be more unapologetic with who I am. I wasn't hiding. So the tension at home just kept rising until one day my mom just exploded on me. She told me to leave and not come back. Being homeless is very scary. You have no security and you can only keep what you can hold in a bag or a suitcase. Money is also a problem. I did sex work for a few months. It was dangerous. I had a lot of encounters that were very bad, but I made money from it and was able to buy food. Now I'm lucky I don't have to do it because I have a stable housing and a job." Which there were a couple people actually in this article that talked about doing sex work as one of the ways they made money in order to survive. And I wonder how common that is. I don't have any data on that, but that must be common.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard people say, like, joking, not joking kind of way of like, I don't really have a place to sleep tonight, so I guess I'll hop on Grindr. But yeah, and then sex work is a way to like earn some income so you can go and, like, take care of yourself.
Yeah, which I could definitely understand how that could result in some dangerous situations. So yeah.
Well, Frankie, good work.
Way to survive. I mean, yeah, you got to do what you got to do to survive. So yeah, that was homelessness.
Yeah. I think, okay, let's talk about empathy for a little bit. Like, neither of us have been homeless, but I don't like admitting that sometimes I am either afraid of or sort of have bad feelings about people experiencing homelessness when I run into them, see them on the street. Like I've, crossed the street to avoid talking to someone that looks like they're experiencing homelessness. And I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this, Kyle. I kind of get it, but then I also am not an asshole. Like
I think I've felt the same way, like, oh no, this is dangerous. And then I remember how many times I've actually, like, something negative has happened because of a homeless person. Mm-hmm. And that number is not zero. I've had maybe a couple bad experiences, but that number is not a lot. Yeah. So like the odds of something bad actually happening due to like walking by someone experiencing homelessness is like not that high. And so I try to remind myself of that whenever those thoughts creep up.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. There's a certain kind of behavior that I find to be like unpredictable, and that's the scariest kind. Like the dude that's yelling at the sky. Like,
yeah, that I avoid. And that seems like someone, regardless of whether they're homeless or not, like they're just having a mental health crisis. And that is, I think, a smart person to avoid.
Yeah. Yep. I think going back, empathy. I wanted to talk about empathy. Like these are human beings. These are people, and I think that a lot of the attitudes that we see in society, in policy, in media, all come down to: can you still hold someone's humanity in your thoughts and feelings about them and what they deserve and their value, their worth? And can you just for a second put yourself in their shoes, try to understand what they're going through? Can you view someone who is less privileged than you as still being equal to you in value as a human being? And I think it can be hard sometimes, and I don't like that, but I still try to exercise that as much as I possibly can.
That doesn't seem like something you would struggle with.
It is.
Huh.
Yeah. I want to peel that apart, I guess. But, yeah, I wonder if like we didn't really have any homeless people back home growing up. It was farm country, and like, you get, the cops would just run you out of town. Right. Like, so I don't know if that's just like something I have no experience with, or I do now, obviously. I just mean like, the visceral reaction, if that's just something I didn't have to confront until I was older.
Yeah. I grew up in the suburbs. We didn't have to deal with homeless people. We definitely something that I've only had to like deal with as an adult, and also something that like, I think gets overblown and, has my parents like, is Seattle still a safe place? It's like, yes, Seattle's fine. Like, I think it gets overblown and made to be this big, scary thing when it's really sad and deserves our attention and deserves additional funding and housing, but it's not, I don't think it's as scary as people make it out to be.
Yeah. I agree. I don't know. Did we do it?
I don't know. Sometimes I feel like we definitively talked about it and talked through every angle of it. And this one, I don't know. I don't know what else to talk about though, but homelessness is definitely gay. Mm-hmm. And gay people are definitely more likely to be homeless. So it goes both ways. And yeah, I don't know. It's a growing issue that I think is going to just keep growing until we decide to actually like pull up our pants and fucking do something.
Yep. Well, and like, I worry about AI, Kyle, and I'm not kidding. Like, I worry about the change that's coming, the revolution that's going to happen in the way that we work as humans. And I'm worried that things are going to get way worse before they get better, if they ever get better, that jobs are going to contract because AI is going to be doing them. And before we can shift our economics, people are going to go through housing crises and food and medical crises, and so scary. But like, I don't know. I do expect high-tech cities like Seattle and San Francisco to be first. They're going to, lose high-tech jobs rapidly, white-collar jobs rapidly, and that's where you're going to see things take a turn. And I some days when I'm not feeling very hopeful, going back to hope, I think it's inevitable. Like there's no stopping this gravy train. So
yeah, we're kind of like on that track, and I don't think there's any getting off the AI track. Like that's just what's happening. So we got to like learn how to, and this is where I think like, can we use public funding to help identify the jobs that are going to be displaced and provide funding for training programs, or help people go back to school to get a different degree? Or, I think there are things we could do to help mitigate some of the issues that are going to come up around it. But to get this administration to have any kind of empathy and vote on something like that is going to be impossible. So I don't have any faith in us actually taking those steps.
Yep, I agree. Ugh. Well, that's just a downer. What a shitty episode, Kyle.
What a shitty episode. Who decided to do this?
It was Kyle, everybody.
It was me. That was yeah.
No, I think it's important to talk about because it's uncomfortable to talk about. And I think that like, if the only thing that people take away from this is a reminder that it is worse for gay people, I think that's a win. Just like keeping that, in people's minds is important. There's value there.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
So should we take a break?
Yeah, let's take a break.
Let's take a break. Okay.
This is the part where Mike and Kyle take a break.
Are we back?
We're back.
We're back.
We're going to do our Gayest and Straightest.
We're going to do our Gayest and Straightest, but first, local gay bar review. Ooh. It's time for local gay bar review.
Okay.
Let's see. Which one of these do I want to talk about? I want to talk about Spark in Washington, D.C. Spark in Washington, D.C. was having lesbian night. I was there with a listener that I wanted to bang. And it was so cute vibe. It was like fancy cocktail vibe, but it was all non-alcoholic. It was a non-alcoholic bar. It was all
non-alcoholic lesbian night bar.
Yes.
This seems like all the wrong things for you.
Yes. So if there had been booze, it would have been 4 dildos, but no booze. I'm an alcoholic, 2.5 dildos.
Fair. Did you end up going home with a listener?
Yes. We've talked about this.
Oh, is this one I know about?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, great. Then I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, great.
We're going to do our Gayest and Straightest.
We're going to do our Gayest and Straightest. But first, our website is gayishpodcast.com.
We are on social media at Gayish Podcast.
Our hotline, you can send us text messages or leave us voicemails. It's 5855-GAYISH. That's 585-542-9474. Standard rate supply.
Our email is gayishpodcast@gmail.com.
And our physical mailing address is Post Office Box 19882, Seattle, Washington, 98109.
I'll go.
Okay, do it, Kyle. You go.
My gayest is ordering an iced coffee.
Of course.
I got a cold brew. And so I actually have been drinking, that could be my straightest, but it's not. But drinking hot coffee all through the summer is probably my straightest. But this time around, I just needed a nice coffee and need an extra shot of gayness.
Putting the anus in gayness. I don't think I like iced coffee, Kyle.
Gay gasp.
I know, right?
Why not?
I don't know. I just don't. I just never get it. I certainly don't make it. I have hot coffee all year long. at my house.
But iced coffee is pretty much like hot coffee, just with ice in it.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I don't know. My straightest is drinking leftover beer.
you had leftover beer. I'm sorry I didn't drink it all.
That's okay. It was a lot of beer. So I can't, any alcohol is better than no alcohol. So I drank some beer.
Did you get through it all? Do you still have some left?
It's all gone.
Great. Good work, Kyle. I'm so proud of you.
Yeah. Thanks, man. How about you?
How about me? The straightest thing about me this week, we are putting a home gym in our basement. And I personally laid down all of the rubber flooring in the gym because
wow,
gonna have weights in there and want to be able to drop them and not have them crack the concrete or whatever. So I put rubber mat flooring down in the entire gym, and I had to cut it a million pieces so that it would fit because they're square tiles that had to be put in there. I don't know. I felt very butch cutting up rubber tiling and gluing it down or whatever.
Yeah, good for you.
And then the gayest thing about me this week, this hotel that I'm staying at, there's a college soccer team that is staying here, and there's a pool out my balcony, and I just watched them shirtless swim all afternoon.
Oh, good for you.
It was magnificent.
Soccer guys are hot.
Oh my God. Yes. 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 Yes.
We have a listener's Gayest and Straightest. This is from Spencer from Canada.
Hi guys, this is Spencer from Canada. I wanted to call and submit my Gayest and Straightest of the week. So my Straightest of the week is because of the lovely genetics. The sun is not my friend, so I'm either pasty white or very, very red. So I think the Straightest of the week would be my mismatched pattern of sunburns from different shirts I've been wearing, which looks like a puzzle piece all over my back and arms, but rocking the farmer's tan. My Gayest of the week would be through online purchasing of a sex toy that is definitely purchased with my eyes, not my hole, and sort of conquering that in a sense. So it definitely feels like one of the gayest things of the week. It's a Girthmaster replica, if that helps at all. But love you guys, love the show. Have a good one. Bye.
Okay, Kyle, do you know who Girthmaster is?
No, I thought I heard the phrase Girthmaster in there.
I'm very worried about Spencer's hole.
What is Girthmaster?
It's a dude, a straight dude, I think, who does a lot of interviews on podcasts talking about his gigantic dick.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah. Yeah. Huh. We should get him on the show. Derek, get Girthmaster on the show. Also I totally agree that pasty and red are the two colors that one should only ever expect out of themselves with their of certain genetic makeup.
Yeah, like me.
Yeah. That's it. We did it.
Yeah, we did it.
Thank you to all of the homeless people. I don't know what we say.
Sure. I don't know. Sure. Thank you to anyone who's been homeless.
Yeah. Yeah. And buy our book. And no, I don't. Okay.
Sure. And thank you. We should what?
And we should stop.
Oh, okay. Thank you to our super gap bridgers. Thank you to Locomotive, Simon Srirachi, Kaylee Adams, Kid Oliver, Kobe Gordon, Squaggle, Andrew Bugby, William Bryant, John Crowley, Stephen Porch, Yost Osel, Jonathan Montanius, Forrest Nell, Steve Douglas, Explosive Lasagna, Michael Covington, Thomas B, Dusty Sands, A. Coleman, Chris Kajatorians, Jerome York, and Cian and Javi. Thank you for your support.
Thank you for your money. That's it. This has been Gayish from the Chris Kachatorian Studios. I'm Mike Johnson.
I'm Kyle Getz. Until next week, be butch, be fabulous, be you. See ya.
See you next week.
What do you get for dinner?
I don't know. Maybe a twink.